All right. Well, welcome to this week's update on the GTM project. In this case, the Tesla-powered GTM project. As you can see, there's nothing in the garage. Car's not here. It is scheduled to arrive soon, though. At this point, I've talked with Stewart Transportation. They're the ones that are transporting the kit car from Massachusetts, which is where Factory 5 Racing is. They're transporting it, should be on their truck currently, and they're telling me it's going to get here Thursday of this coming week. Today's Sunday, so getting pretty excited because we're getting really close. So that's going to be May 16th, 2019, if you're not watching this current year. But either way, yeah, so I've done a lot of time organizing and cleaning the garage. In this case, what'll be my workshop. So I just wanted to kind of run through this, give you a couple of other little updates, that sort of thing. So here we are. This is, well, I live in the Phoenix area, and here it's become more and more popular to have these, I guess, RV garages is what they're calling them. I don't know a whole lot of people, honestly, that put RVs in them. Most people use them for workshops or storage, or just because they have multiple cars. A buddy of mine down the street, I think he has like 7 or 8 cars in his currently. So and it's the exact same garage. But yeah, so here we are. Nice thing, 16, 17 foot ceilings. This side of the garage is 17 or 18 feet across and about 40 feet deep. This side of the garage, 42 foot deep, and another 12, 13 feet across. So wife says she gets 1 parking spot, and this is it. Either way, this is where we're at. Right this second, I'm working on something different for compressors. Right now, I've just got, a couple small little compressors. The hoses, I've ordered a couple little whip hoses to connect to the reel. And of course, we've got power on a reel there as well. The racking system here, I've had this, got it free. It came in an old workshop I was using. I decided to keep it when I moved out, so they didn't want it. So I've still got a few IS300 parts, got a dash still, gauge cluster, harness that's going to a buddy of mine, Stan, with Race Car and Chill. He has a YouTube channel there. That's going to him. He's going to take that and rewire his car. Couple EV parts here. So this is going to be the controller T1C by EV Controls that controls the Tesla drive unit by basically kind of hacking into Tesla's software on the drive unit itself. Underneath it is a Chevy Volt DC to DC converter, 135 amp. Obviously that will supply 12 volts from the onboard high voltage battery. A couple other things, I've got a oil accumulator there that was on the IS300. Obviously I don't need that anymore. Welder, just a cheap little Eastwood TIG 200. Does, obviously AC DC, so aluminum and stuff. I'm not the greatest welder in the world, but I can do okay. And yeah, so I have that. Moving along, I have my workbench. Got a whole bunch of Milwaukee tools, some of the new stuff. Really, they've been great so far. I have 0 problems with them. Batteries last. I'm pretty happy with those guys. A lot of my tools, the more commonly used stuff, kind of organized on pegboard here. The drone that I use to film some of the bunch of outdoor stuff, but I plan on using it to film some car stuff coming up. Grinder, AC, refrigerant recovery unit. And then we've got all sorts of boxes. I try to keep this stuff organized. It's a challenge for me because I'm not good at putting things up a lot of times, but the more organized I am to start, the better off I'll stay. So I've got, some powder coating stuff and a bunch of wiring, just kind of miscellaneous parts and things like that, paint, fluid, chemicals, that sort of thing. Over here, I have a kind of a home-built powder coating oven. about 2.5 by 2.5 by 3 foot tall inside. I've used it to powder coat hundreds of items without issue, so it works pretty well. Up above, obviously I'm in the Phoenix area, as I said. So I have it's a 2.5 ton unit AC, heat and AC wall unit here, a mini split they call them. Works well to keep the garage at a reasonable temperature. I wouldn't say it ever gets cold out here, but it's not on now because it does make a decent amount of noise, and it's actually kind of comfy for right now. And for circulation, obviously, to move that air around. Another box, more boxes of, kind of the good stuff here. Wiring, crimps, heat shrink, obviously this is zip ties and something I've never done a whole lot of, but a couple before. Evidently this kit car is going to be hundreds and hundreds of rivets holding panels and things like that together. So I'm kind of interested to see where we go there. This is just a manual rivet gun to get into tight places. I plan on buying an electric one as well. Again, evidently there's hundreds of these things. Got some 2.0 gauge power wire here. This stuff is going to be, interconnect for the batteries and also, obviously to the drive unit itself. I bought 50 foot of it, hoping that's going to be enough because it's expensive, and it weighs about a half pound per foot. So it's 50 foot and about 25 pounds worth of cable right there. Over here, kind of got a tear down table. It's got a drain in the middle. So anything fluidy you can put on here and will, kind of drain into a pan underneath. Right now I've just got one of the BMS harnesses, as well as some of the higher voltage electrical harnesses off of one of the volt batteries that I've disassembled. So kind of just a table to set stuff on that I'm working on currently. Figure out something else to do with that. Ultrasonic cleaner, anything that comes off the Corvette donor car that needs to get cleaned up. Obviously, if it'll fit in there, I'll throw it in there. Down here again, we've got Chevy volt batteries, and again, this is the newer version, so the 18.3 kilowatt batteries. About 360 volts is kind of like the nominal voltage for the thing. Coming around over here, we've got the one that I was taking apart in my last video. Obviously, haven't made no progress on it, mainly because I like to roll it around. The thing weighs about 400 pounds for the whole deal. And while the smaller pieces are still not too bad, they're still, they're heavy. And I really don't have a great spot to put them. I need to put them into a car or something. So going from there. Over here, kind of under my little table, so I've got the Tesla drive unit itself. So again, this is the 400 kilowatt or 536 horsepower Tesla drive unit. They call it the Sport. I think Sport Plus is what they call this thing. Either way, you can see here it does say Sport right there on the label. It's upside down for you guys, I'm sure, but either way, this is the way this thing kind of works. Just real quick, is what you see on the left side here is the actual motor itself, and on the right side where the big power cables come in, that's the inverter. So it's an AC motor, and obviously batteries are DC. So we put DC in, it converts it to AC. Supposedly they're like 95-96% efficient, and drives the axles come out of the differential here. So the way it's oriented right this second is actually the way if it was sitting in the car, this would be the rear where we are, and the front would obviously be towards the direction of where the differential is. So the differential actually sits in front of the drive unit in the car. They sell I think it's Place makes a limited slip unit for this thing. I'm not gonna buy one just yet. They're kind of pricey. I want to say they're like 1,800 to 2 grand or so, which I think that's in the plans down the road. But right this second, I just really want to get the car up and running, make sure everything is good. I don't think this will be too difficult to pull back out of the car once it is put in. So again, that'll be something to do kind of down the road. And there we have it. So again, that's where we're at. Obviously, the Atlas lift got that thing from Greg Smith Equipment. Their offices are about 1.5 miles from the house, or at least one of them, the one here in Phoenix. So it's super handy that they were close. I was able to get it dropped off on a tow truck, and some friends came over one morning. We installed it. It took about 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 hours. Either way, so that's our update. So that's kind of where we're at. This Thursday, again, the 16th, is when the car should be here. I'll probably know a little bit more, I don't know, hopefully 24 hours out. They'll give me, a call and say, hey, this is exactly when the car is going to show up. And at that point, I'll post about it and see what we've, probably going to, the idea is I'm going to film the delivery. At least 1 or 2 friends is going to come over, a whole bunch of boxes, and it all needs to be inventoried, just so I make sure that I got everything that was promised by Factory 5. Evidently, some people say that Factory 5 has always been good about, supplying parts that they may have missed and, didn't get inventoried, even if it's a few months down the road. But, I want to do it right and make sure that I do, proper inventory at that time. Yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at right this second. We will, I will be updating everybody shortly. Oh, one thing. So I do a favor to ask anybody that is watching these videos. It was never a big deal to me before because I'm not a huge, really don't even care that much about sharing this all that much, but YouTube's got some new restrictions on, you have to have like 1,000 subscribers minimum now before they'll let you live stream from a mobile device. Well, I want to do some live streaming from a mobile device. So if you want me to be able to do some of that stuff while the car is actually in process and being worked on, subscribe, share this video with a friend or two, and get the word out. Anyways, thank you. We'll talk to you in a few days. The car shows up.